Good morning. Good morning. Hi. Just move this way. There we go. It's better. Morning, everybody. Good morning, Sue. Hi. Let me just share the live link. So, how are you all this morning? I'll just share the link now so that you will know exactly where I am. Share. There we go. So, there we are. So, good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, and today is relaxation and deep stretch day. So, what do we need? You need to have your mat, just a mat, a couple of cushions. If you have a bolster, that'd be great. But if you don't have a bolster, just grab some pillows, cushions, whatever you can grab to pad up and make yourself comfortable. A couple of blocks would be fantastic if you have those. And a strap. You need a nice long strap or a belt. I will offer variations with these. If you don't have a strap, then we can always do and access the different stretches without them. But ideally, have a long strap. So that's everything that you need, really. So nice, comfortable stuff to help pad yourselves up and make yourselves comfortable. So I'm going to wait just 1 more minute and then we'll begin. For those of you who are ready to kind of get yourselves comfortable, we need to get ourselves onto the mat. So we're going to start today in Supta Baddha Konasana, which is lying down with the feet together and the knees open. So you open the, it's called cobbler's pose as well, or butterfly. If you remember doing that as kids, you used to butterfly the legs. So we're going to do that lying down, and take your blanket for underneath the back, just to pad yourselves up, just to make yourselves more comfortable. You can take a couple of cushions for underneath the head, across the shoulders, so just softening the contact with the floor. I'm going to pop some focus oil on. Something I do before the beginning of every practice. This just helps to awaken my senses, because the sense of smell is very, very powerful. Just a blend of really nice relaxing smells and oils. So just beginning. So everyone, let's begin. So coming into your Supta Baddha Konasana. So popping yourself down onto the floor really nice and gently. So rolling down, use your hands behind the knees just to ease yourself down onto the floor. Now, taking those blocks, having those ready, or a couple of cushions if you don't have blocks. Then bring the feet together, and then you're dropping the knees out to the sides. This is where the blocks and the cushions come in handy, so that you can prop the sides of the knees up, so that you're not taking too much tension into the hips and into the pelvis. So, having your head onto a cushion, onto a bolster, and then taking your left hand onto your heart and your right hand onto your belly. Gently closing the eyes As we begin to take our focus and attention inwards, we're just going to spend a couple of minutes here just reconnecting with your breath, just checking in with yourself. So this is all about pressing that pause button. Pressing pause, giving yourself the chance to restore, reset. So as we begin to slow down our breathing, as you begin to relax into the floor, just pay attention to the sensations of the breath. Noticing the chest cage, the rib cage, the chest expand as you breathe in deeply. Maybe noticing the belly rise, so feeling the sensations within the body and noticing the sensations underneath the hands. Breathing in and out through the nose, so using the nose as a filter. Just trying to let go of thoughts. This is not easy, but with every thought as it arises, if it arises, just observe the thought. So notice, okay, I'm thinking something, but I'm going to come back to thinking of the breath. So focus, refocus, re-anchor your attention onto the breath. Glue yourself to the breath. But it's perfectly normal, perfectly natural for thoughts to arise. Just keep coming back to the breath every time a thought arises. So don't fight it, just relax, soften, accept, be compassionate, be non-judgmental. So just checking in with the body, just noticing how you feel today. Again, without judgment, criticism, just observe how you feel. Feelings and emotions arise, but just accepting and noticing, observing those feelings. Flow with the feeling, let the feeling be there without pushing it away. Embrace the feeling and then gently let the feeling go. If that's a tightness, an obstruction in the body, some blockage somewhere emotionally, physically, and hopefully in this next hour or so we can just help to unravel those blockages and those areas of tension and tightness. So just coming back to the feelings of the breath without controlling, without forcing. Just notice yourself breathing in deeply. And imagine yourself breathing in positive new energy on the breath in. Taking a little pause, a hold at the top of the breath. Just enjoy the sensation and the fullness of the lungs. Enjoying that oxygen coming into the body, fresh new life force, fresh new prana. And then gently, when you're ready, letting the breath go. Just letting go, releasing, relaxing into the exhale. So enjoy these sensations and moving with the wave of the breath. The wave coming in, the pause, the wave flowing out, the pause, the wave flowing in, pausing and the wave flowing out, and gently pausing. So taking another couple of deep breaths in and out. And then using this opportunity of stillness, if you feel you want to set positive intention for yourself, then do so now. But make that positive intention really definite, very clear to your inner mind's eye. So really picture it clearly. See it and feel it. Embody it. Embrace it. Bring it into this present moment and noticing it really fully in the present moment, in the present tense. I am. And you can repeat that to yourselves a few times, silently to your inner mind's eye. Slowly taking your hand off your belly, off your heart center, and removing your blocks from under your knees. Drawing your knees in towards your chest, just gently give yourselves a hug. Feel a lovely stretch in the lower back. And then holding onto your knees, draw your head up towards your knees. Just squeeze yourselves into a ball. Taking a couple of deep breaths in and out, really consciously. And then very gently starting to rock and roll up and down the spine. And then coming up, removing your cushions from underneath your head. So we want to create a flat surface now on our mats. So just take those cushions and bolsters away for the moment. So rolling over onto your knees, taking the feet together and then taking the knees apart, dropping your hips back towards your heels, gently walking your hands forwards and feeling yourself into extended child's pose. So dropping your head gently onto your blanket. So keep your blanket on the mat. Just create some soft landing there for your forehead. Feeling that space created into the armpits, into the front of the body. Feeling a lovely stretch into the shoulders, across the back, across the shoulder blades. Feel the shoulder blades slide apart. Feel your hands rooted into the floor. Feel the connection of your arms to the mat. Begin to notice the belly. Drawing navel to spine, give the belly a lift. So engage in the abdominal muscles, just give them a squeeze and lift, as though you're trying to draw your navel up to your spine. Squeezing into the pelvic floor, give that a little squeeze and a lift too. Your pelvic floor, your perineum, that muscle at the very base of your core, supporting you, the muscle that helps stop you from having a pee. Just waking that up. Just activating your Mula Bandha. Uddiyana Bandha, navel to spine. Just gently engaging and bringing just a little bit of awareness there. Take a nice deep breath in, lifting your hips up so that and bring your knees in. So your knees are underneath your hips. So everything is kind of lined up. The legs at a 90-degree angle. Walk your hands forwards and then just deepen the stretch into the shoulders. Maybe taking a lift just off the mat, taking a breath in. And then as you exhale, notice how you can relax into the shoulders a bit more, stretch into the shoulders, releasing the forearms back down if that's possible, and dropping the head back down to the floor. It's like you're trying to send your armpits down to the earth. Take another 2 or 3 deep breaths here. If it feels good, keep the eyes closed to keep that focus and attention inwards. On your next breath in, gently pushing into the hands, using the legs a little bit, lift into the belly just to bring the body up. Walk the hands back so that you have them underneath your shoulders. And take a little cat-cow. So Vidyalasana pose, tabletop. So we're spreading our fingers wide, the pointer finger reaching and pointing towards the top of the mat. So you're spinning your arms so that the inner creases face forwards, thumbs higher up than the little fingers. So feel the openness across the chest. Squeeze and lift into that Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Keep them active and push your feet really actively into the mat. Deep breath in as you drop your belly down, tailbone lifts, chest and heart and gaze lifts. This is your cow. Exhale, tucking the tailbone under, begin to arch the upper spine up to the sky. Imagine somebody's pulling you up between that space between the shoulder blades up to the sky. Drop your chin towards your chest. Push into the hands and feet. Nice breath in. Make your breath long and slow. So that's your cat. Exhale into your cat, that was your cow into your cat. So tucking the tailbone under, really push into the hands, reach that upper space between the shoulder blades, upper back, up to the sky, drop the heads. Really deep breath in, nice and slow. Notice the pause. And then exhale as you begin to tuck slowly the tailbone under, drawing the head down towards the chest, pushing up that space between the shoulder blades. Let's do one more then, that little pause. And then drawing a deep breath in. Pause at the top and then exhale. Tucking everything under, push into the hands. Push, push, push. Drop that chin to chest. Like you're trying to scoop your belly up as well. And then coming into a neutral position. Then from here, we're going to take a little gate pose. So coming up nice and slowly. Everything slowly today. Take your right foot out to the side. Pointing your toes forwards. Feel a little stretch into the outer hip. Take your right hand down. Start to slide your right hand down your right leg. And then starting to lift the left hand up alongside the left ear. So reaching away with the hand. So feel the openness, that stretch in the left side body. If it feels good, turn the palm of the hand down. Breathing deeply. So sliding that right hand a little bit further down, keeping the chest open though, so don't start to reach forwards. Don't compromise there. So you're really squeezing into the right side and opening up through the left. Connect with your breath. Deep breaths, nice and slow and steady. On a nice breath in, bringing yourself up to center. You can use your hands to switch sides. So bringing your right knee under, that's going to be your supporting leg, and sending the left leg out to the side. Just checking your hips are facing forwards. Your knee is underneath your hip. Your foot is pointing directly behind. Start to slide the left hand down the left leg. So we're squeezing, crunching into the left side as we open up through the right. Bringing that right hand overhead. So bringing the arm alongside the ear, keeping the chest facing forwards. So with every exhale, just feel as though you can just fold that little bit more into the left side, opening up a little bit more into the right. Big breath in, coming back up nice and slowly with control. And then we're going to ease ourselves back down onto our mats, giving our legs a little stretch out. Take your strap. So coming down onto your mats nice and slowly, onto your back. Use your hands behind the legs to ease yourself down. So making sure you have a good amount of free space around you. We are going to use our strap around our right foot. So you're going to extend the left leg long, and you're going to hold your strap in your right hand. You can have your left hand alongside your body for now. So looking up to the ceiling for the moment, you'll start to pull that right leg in towards you. Breathing nice and slowly, nice and deeply. Keeping the left leg active, so it's really supporting and rooted into the earth. So supporting your posture, keeping yourself nice and upright so you're facing up towards the ceiling. With every exhale, just seeing if you can pull that foot a little bit closer down towards you. If you don't have a strap, then hold onto the calf or the ankle or the big toe. So all options. Now reaching your left hand out to the side, palm facing up. Start to slowly, with control, keeping your left leg rooted into your mat. Start to open up, dropping that right leg down to the side. Keep looking up to the ceiling. Don't look to your foot. Look up. Try to keep that left leg and that left glute glued into the floor. It does not matter if your right leg does touch the floor or not. With every exhale, just feel yourself opening and releasing further out to the right, even if it doesn't move much at all. On a deep breath in, slowly bring that right leg up to center. Switch the bind of the strap into the other hand, so holding the strap now in the left hand, reach the right hand away. And slowly, slowly, with control, start to bring that right leg across to the left. Keeping your leg as straight as possible. You want to glue that right arm into the floor. And you can look to your right hand in this case. So with every exhale, just letting go with that right leg. So you'll feel a really deep stretch on the outer thigh, all across the glutes, the outer glutes. Maybe up into the lower back, this lovely, lovely stretch. Breathe deeply, particularly focusing on a deep exhalation. Make your exhales long. On a big breath in, bringing your right leg back up to take the strap off as we switch sides. So taking a strap around the left foot now, holding onto the strap with your left hand. Extend and lengthen the right leg away, really active right leg. Maybe flexing the foot actively towards you too. Have your right arm alongside you. Turn the palm of the hand down to the earth. Feel the connection there of the hand and the arm into the floor. Working slowly, bringing that left leg towards you, the left foot down towards you. Just notice the tension if it's there. Into the hamstring. This is quite a stretch into the hamstrings. But breathe into that space where it feels tight. Let's hold this here for another 3 breaths. Keep looking up. And then starting to send your right hand out to the side, but keep looking up to the ceiling, offering your left leg out to the left. So opening up into the left hip, really rooting the right leg, right glute into the floor. So don't let the twist occur in the hips. So the hips are still facing up to the ceiling. Really root that right side, that right arm, that right leg, the right glute, buttock into the floor. Keep looking up to the ceiling. Breathing deeply. Big breath in, bringing the left leg to center. Taking hold of the strap into the right hand now. Reaching the left hand to the side. Palm facing up. This time you can look to the left hand as you start to bring your left leg out across to the right. Moving nice and slowly, slowly, slowly. There's no rush. Just letting that leg drop down as much as you can. Breathe into that space. Glue that left shoulder and left arm to the floor. A lovely stretch down the outer left thigh. Across the hip, across the glute. Maybe up into the lower back. Let's hold it here for another 3 deep breaths. Really deep. Inhale, bringing your leg to center. Take the strap off. We're just going to take a little eagle legs now. So lifting both legs up to the sky. Part the legs just a little bit into a V shape. And then bring your left leg across your right. And attempt to cross them high up. Or low down, if you want to call it, high up the leg. It's like you're trying to twist them across each other, corkscrew them across each other, and start to wrap the right leg behind the left lower leg. So your foot is wrapping under the lower, so your right foot's wrapping under the lower left calf. Then bend it to the knees. Drop your left foot down to the floor. Take both arms wide. And then start to drop your knees. It's like trying to drop your right knee down to the floor. So taking a twist over to the left. Glue that right shoulder down to the floor. Don't let it lift. If you want to turn your gaze to your right hand, just to deepen the twist. 3 more deep breaths. Inhale to center. Slowly unwinding the legs. Taking the legs back up. And then wrapping them over. Remember, we're trying to wrap them as high up on the leg as possible. So the left leg is on top. And then we're bringing up that left foot behind the lower right calf. Bend into the knees, drop the feet. So your right foot is going to touch the earth, touch the floor. So now we're dropping over towards the right. Look to your left hand. Breathing deeply, enjoy this twist. Breathing nice and slow and steady. Focusing on letting go with every exhale. 3 more deep breaths. Just noticing, is one side easier than the other? It's most likely. Big breath in, using your core muscles, so squeeze into the belly to bring the knees into center. Release the legs. Give your legs a little shake out, just a little wobble shake. Coming into a little bridge pose. So you might want to take your blanket away because it might cause a bit of slipping otherwise. So I'm going to take my blanket off from underneath me. If you have a block, grab a block. Just coming to bridge, so easing yourself back down. Bending your legs, bringing your feet hip distance apart. Bring the heels close to the buttocks, as close as you can. Have a look. The legs need to be nice and parallel with each other. If you have a block, you can place a block between the legs and squeeze into your block. So we're going to roll ourselves up into a bridge. So taking a nice deep breath in, start to tilt the pelvis, pointing the pelvis up towards the sky. So rolling up, start to peel the spine, vertebra by vertebra, off the mat. So arms are still down onto the mat, arms facing down. And as you lift, the spine begins to lift off the mat and you have just the shoulders attached to the floor. Wiggle those, squeeze and wiggle those shoulders closer together. Breathing deeply. Deep belly breaths. Really feel the belly rise and fall here. Notice, is that block still between your legs? Give it a little squeeze. Lift the hips a little bit higher. And then parting the shoulder blades, start to roll the spine back down. And then you can take your block away. We're going to go up again. And there's going to be a couple of options. So have your block ready. So this time, using your thighs to keep them parallel, start to peel the spine back off the floor, off your mat. So lifting, lifting, lifting. Then wiggle those shoulder blades together, drive the hips up. So from here, you can take that block and place it underneath the sacral block, just across that lower triangle of bony space, just where you're roughly weighing just above the coccyx. So enjoy the supported bridge position. So fingertips just able to touch your heels if that's possible. Squeeze the shoulder blades back under, so tuck everything under. Feel the openness across the chest. Nice deep belly breaths. Keep the legs active even though you're being supported. Keeping the knees pointing forwards. They're not splaying out to the side, so thighs still parallel with each other. Squeeze into the glutes, into the legs. Deep breaths in and out. And now taking your block away, maybe holding your position here, Or if you want to, you can take your hands underneath the lower back, wiggling your shoulder blades together, bringing the palms of the hands, the heels of the hands into that very bony place just at the base of the back, lower back. Driving the hips up a little bit higher. Deep belly breaths, keeping those legs really actively parallel. Feet parallel with each other. Drive the hips a little bit higher. Big breath in. Feel the belly rise and fall. One deep breath in. Fill the lungs, open the mouth, sigh the breath out. Deep breath in. Feel the belly rise, open the mouth. Sigh the breath out. Let's do one more. Deep breath in. Sigh the breath out. Take the hands away from underneath the lower back. Part the shoulder blades so you can feel that space across the upper back. Start to peel the spine back down onto the mat super, super slowly. The tailbone landing last, then the bottom. Tuck your knees into your chest. So just to counter pose, I'm going to take a little rock and roll. So just going to counter pose the back bending action. Again, extend the legs long. Coming into Dandasana. Have your strap ready. And maybe your block, there's a variation there. So sitting nice and tall, flexing the feet towards you. We're going to take a forward fold, just to counter pose. So taking your strap, take your strap around your feet. Hold onto your strap, lift and lengthen. Feel the spine growing nice and tall. Taking a deep breath in. Start to hinge yourself forward from the hip creases. So keeping the chest lifted. Imagine the belly falling onto the thighs first. So that's the first point of contact. So the idea isn't that we round through the spine and fold forwards, dropping, trying to get the head down, trying to pull the head down. The idea is that the spine is nice and long. Now if you don't have a strap, that's okay. You can hold onto the shins, the ankles, the outer feet, or holding onto the big toes. But in all options, lift and lengthen that chest. Grow the spine nice and long and folding from the hip creases. Take a little lift and lengthen now. Deep breath in, scoop the belly up, lift the chest, and then refold forwards again. So keeping that focus and attention on the breath, nice and steady and even. If you feel you have a deep forward fold and you need to go a little bit further or have something further to reach apart from the feet, you can take your block beyond the feet, so below the feet, and reach the hands. So it just gives you a little bit of a further reach forwards. Might be because you've got long arms or very stretchy hamstrings, so just finding that space to extend to that works for you today. Remember, there's no judgment, there's no comparison. This is your time, your reset. So go to what works, to that space that works for you. Nobody else. So let's hold this here for another 5 deep breaths. With every exhale, hinging forwards just that little bit more. Dropping your head down to the legs if it arrives there. Taking 2 more deep breaths, nice and strong, nice and steady. Last one, deep breath in. Exhaling. And inhaling, releasing whatever you had hold of, strap, feet, block. Slowly easing yourself back up. So we're going to now go over the other way and rebend the back the other way. So just working on the spine today a little bit. We did this last week as well. So what we're going to do next is a wall reach. If you don't have a wall, then don't worry. You can use your sofa. So you can go up against the sofa and hold up against the sofa. So we're going to start just with a little bit of a cobra to begin with. But again, as I said before, this is your practice. So work to that space that you can today. Listen to your bodies. If anything hurts, gives you pain, then stop immediately. This isn't a no pain, no gain kind of practice or exercise. This is all about understanding the body and working with the body, understanding limitations, and then stretching into new spaces, but without hurting yourself in any way. So first, lying down on the floor, bringing your elbows to the floor, nice and close to you, taking your legs together, toes pointed, so really active legs. So imagine your legs are like this snake, a tail of a snake. Taking a deep breath in, pushing into the elbows. So we want the elbows underneath the shoulders, palms, the hands down onto your mat, onto the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Feel the openness across the chest, across the collarbones. Just looking forward. Feel that stretch on the abdominals. So feeling a contraction in the back, but a gentle squeeze here. 2 more breaths. And then lowering yourself back down. If you're against the wall, take your crown of the head, the top of your head, to the wall or to the edge of your sofa. So we're going to take a big breath in, lifting the chest off. And from here, we're going to walk our arms carefully, our hands carefully up the wall. So reaching your hands, palms of the hands, onto the wall. And then letting the head hang heavy between the arms. Only go to this posture, into this stretch, if it feels right. Try to now relax into the legs. Take some deep breaths here. Soften into the body. Soften into the breath. You can take your hands a little bit higher, take them a little bit higher, but only if that feels good. And then relax the legs. Relax the glutes. 2 more deep breaths in and out. So taking yourself back down, slide your hands back down, taking your hands off the edge of the sofa, coming back down. Take your forehead onto the arms, so take the hands in front, so just make a little pillow for the head. Take a couple of deep breaths. It's likely your heart rate would have risen a little bit with that stretch because it's quite intense. So just letting the heart rate come down a little bit. And then we're going to reach back with the arms. So forehead down to the mat, looking down to the mat, bringing your legs back together. Taking a nice deep breath in, we're going to lift the chest off the mat. Keep looking down. Squeeze the shoulders together, roll the shoulders back and down. Have the arms alongside the body, palms facing up. Push and lift. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then lower back down. Exhale, release. Going to do 2 more of those. Keep the legs together, keep the legs nice and active. Big breath in, look down, and then lift the chest off. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, shoulder blades away from the ears, looking down to the floor. Exhale, release down. This time, going to lift the legs with the arms and shoulders as well. So we're going to lift the arms up, legs up, shoulders up. Big breath in. Exhale, lift. Lift the legs, shoulders away from the ears. Push the hands up, palms facing up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift a little bit more. Lift a little bit more with the chest. Looking forwards now. Then exhale. Release down, make a little pillow for your head. Maybe turn the head the other way. And now we're going to take a little bow. So you're going to reach back for the feet. Bring the legs so that they're parallel with each other. So hold more onto the ankles than the feet themselves. So as you flex the feet, you have a better purchase or grip, if you like, holding onto the feet. So if you just hold onto the tops of the feet, they tend to want to slip away. So flex the feet a little bit more and grab hold of the ankle space with the hands. I think that's, for me, that feels a little bit like a better hold spot. So taking a deep breath in, keeping the legs nice and parallel with each other. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, big breath in. Start to lift, driving the feet up, lifting the chest off. So you're pulling with your feet away. Maybe take a little rock and roll. If that feels nice. Lift a little bit more, flex the feet, drive the feet away, pulling the hands, and then release down. Oh, that's always super, super strong. Dropping the head onto the hands, just make a little pillow. Maybe take a little rock from side to side with the hips. And then pushing yourself back up. Take a little child's pose. So bringing your buttocks towards the heels, dropping the head down to the floor, rolling the shoulders forwards. Just feel that space open between the shoulder blades now. Maybe closing the eyes. Nice deep, deep breaths. So just hold that there for a couple of breaths, just to reset. So, when you're ready, coming back up. So we can go against the wall for this. We're going to take the camel. So working on a little bit of back bending, as you can see today. You can do that against the wall, or if you don't have a wall, I'll show you for that too. If you have a wall, you're going to bring your thighs, you're going to bring yourself thighs planted against the wall. As you take your camel, reach this way. If you don't have a wall, it's exactly the same, just the wall helps you push, because quite often we can end up tilting back this way. The idea with the wall is that you drive the hips back forwards against it. So if you have a wall, that'd be great. If you don't worry. So I'm going to do it against the wall as I have it. Bring your knees hip distance apart, feet parallel, legs and shins parallel, so that everything is lined up nicely. Starting with your hands into your lower back, either onto your hips or palms into your lower back. Driving the hips into the wall. Starting to feel openness occurring in the chest. Starting to lean the chest back, so reaching the chest back. Shoulder blades reach back. Squeeze together. So pushing the hips into and the thighs into the wall. 2 more breaths. Looking up to the sky if you can. Big breath in. Coming back up. Now if it feels accessible for you today, start to play with reaching one hand at a time towards the heels. But keep the hips pushing forwards. If you don't want to touch onto the heels, have the arms alongside the thighs and just take another camel like this. So your choice. You can take both heels and then re-drive those hips and thighs back forwards. Push, drive those hips really into the wall if you're against the wall. 3 more breaths, nice and strong. Big breath in, release the hands. Whew. Going over into the opposite way, so take yourself away from the wall. Tuck your toes under. Send the hips back towards the heels. Grab hold of the heels with the hands, the fingertips as much as you can reach. And then take the head, pull the head down towards the floor. And then lifting the hips back up. So you're drawing your chin towards your chest. Squeeze and lift into the belly. So you're rounding the spine the complete opposite different way to the camel. So this is rabbit. Just a counter pose. Big breath in and come back up. Well done. So that was camel and rabbit. We've done our bow. Now we're going to take a little quad stretch against the wall, and then we're going to come into Virasana and Supta Virasana. But first, take a little quad stretch. We're going to stretch a little bit more into the fronts of the legs. So against the wall again, or against your sofa. Have some padding for underneath the knees if you feel you need it, and maybe something for the foot if you're against the wall. So I find I have quite bony feet. I like to have something between my foot and the wall. Could be just a folded up hand towel or a cushion. So just make these things comfortable. There's no need to have any stress. So starting with the right leg, you can pad up underneath the right knee, as we're on top of that knee, and pad up underneath the foot. So that's step number 1. Take your hands to the floor, and then if you need to, you could use some blocks just to help you lift yourselves up. So pushing into your blocks, you want to walk and lift that left knee off the floor so that we now have a right angle on the left leg. And then coming up, so using your left leg to push into, to support into, to bring the chest up. So really stretching deeply into your right quadriceps. So pushing these hips back. If you feel really stretchy, you can have the foot alongside the outer buttock, but don't go to that space if it hurts anyway. Just work with your body. This is your practice, your stretch. So what I'm working towards is to get the body against the wall. You'll see why as we take a laying down version of this shortly. Supta Virasana, so supine hero's pose. So just working into these spaces. Just hold it here for another 3 breaths. Breathing deeply into that space, into the front hip all the way down, that front glute, front quadriceps, 4 muscles in the front of the leg. So slowly, slowly coming out of it. Use your blocks if that's helpful. Push into, release that right leg really, really slowly. And go over to the other side. So placing your cushion underneath your left knee and your little bit of padding to the top of the foot if you need it. So we're setting ourselves up on the other side. It's quite useful to use the blocks to push into to release that right foot forward. So noticing any difference this side to the other. Could be an old injury, just a stronger leg, more flexible leg. Might be that this leg is your non-dominant leg, so it's actually more, it works less and therefore is a little bit more stretchy. So taking your shoulders back against the wall if that's available to you. Breathing deeply. Three more deep breaths. Remember, you can come out of any of these poses at any time. It's your practice. Slowly coming out. Leaning forwards into the hands. And your blocks if you have them there. Just slowly releasing that leg off the wall or against the sofa, whatever you've done. So that was our quad stretch. From here we're going to go into hero's pose. Take your cushions, blocks or bolsters along with you for this, because this is something we can take and work into incrementally. So hero's pose is where you take the feet outside of the buttocks. So prop your bottom up as much as you need to. If that means 2 blocks and cushion, then use those props. For some it's really easy because they don't have knee issues. If you have any knee issues, then take care. So the idea is that we're going to drop ourselves back nice and slowly and hopefully lay ourselves onto our elbows, then lowering the back down. Now you can have a landing place spot using a cushion. So I've got a long bolster, so I'm going to take the bolster to the floor so I have a little bit of something to land it onto. So I have to be careful with my knees. So just listening to any injuries or anything that you have, so please be careful. So slowly, slowly taking yourself back. Now it might mean that you can release some of these cushions after a while. Just work into those spaces that you can and that you feel comfortable. So onto the elbows first. Open up into and across the chest. Feel that openness in the front body. Remember that openness that we felt in the camel pose? And then the stretch up the front of the thighs that we had just now against the wall. So having a cushion is really nice to land onto for this. So finding that comfortable spot. If it's not comfortable, then make it comfortable. Come back up. and just sit in your hero's pose or lean back onto the elbows. If you are down onto your cushion, down onto the floor, and you feel it's okay for you, then reach your arms overhead. Clasp your opposite elbows. Take some deep, steady breaths here. Maybe closing the eyes. Let's take another 5 deep breaths. Feel that lovely stretch all the way down the front of the thighs, across the hip flexors, across the belly, across the chest, into the shoulders, the whole of the front body stretching. Very slowly coming in. So using your elbows, push into the elbows. Use your hands into the backs of the calves so you can wiggle your elbows back so that you've got some weight on your elbows. Then push into the hands to bring yourself back up. So very, very, very slowly with this. Taking yourself onto your bottoms so that you can take your legs out front. Give them a little shake out. Coming back into Dandasana. Oh, really feel how the legs feel now. Flex the feet towards you. Take the hands alongside the buttocks. Imagine you back against the wall. Chin towards the chest, Jalandhara Bandha. Squeeze and lift Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Let's take 5 deep breaths here. And now into Gomukhasana. Going to take our right leg over the left. Going to stack the knees on top of each other and then drop the bottom back down. Take the heels in towards the buttocks. Now from here you can take a block or a cushion and prop up underneath the bottom. So just to elevate your bottom a little bit higher, it's a little bit less intense into the hips. But if you feel comfortable and you want to work deeper into the hips and nothing is hurting, like the knees or the hips themselves, and take the bottom back down. So having your strap ready if you need it for the arms. You're going to reach the right arm up and then bring the hand down between the shoulder blades, and then the left hand reaches up from behind to clasp hold of the hand. Use your strap to connect the hands if the hands do not reach each other. Lift and lengthen, squeeze navel to spine. Nice straight back. And then exhale, hinging from your hip creases, folding forwards over the legs. Feel a lovely stretch in the outer glutes. Nice, steady, even breath. 2 more. Inhale, curl up. Release the arms. Give your shoulders a shake out. And then switching your legs. So the right leg's underneath, the left leg's on top. Just paying attention to any difference between one side to the other. If you need to prop up, prop up. Notice any difference in the tightness in the hips when you change legs. And then the switching of the arms the other way. So now the left hand reaches down, the right hand reaches up. So nice long straight spine to begin with. Breath in, so navel to spine. Exhale, hinging from the hip creases. Hinging over the legs, drawing the head down towards the top knee. Work with your breath. This is an intense stretch, so you really need to breathe deeply here. Two more in and out. Inhaling, curling over. So, we are going to go into frog from here. So, bringing your blanket back onto your mat. So, pad up the knees. So, making a sort of a long cushioning for the knees. Bring your other cushions for your chest to land into. So, frog pose. Taking the knees wider than hip distance, point the legs, feet and chins back. So the lower legs parallel with each other, pointing back. So we're bringing our hips in line with our knees. Start to slide the knees apart. Go to that space where you go, ooh, that's enough. And then start to lean onto the elbows. And bring your chest onto your cushions. Drop the head. Let the head be heavy. So take any tension out of the neck, out of the head and shoulders. Work into that space. And if you can, start to slide the knees further apart. Looking into that space into the hips. Don't go to that space where it's like 10 out of 10. We're not aiming for that. Maybe a 5 or a 6, or wherever you want to go. Don't make it painful. If this is hurting your knees, then come out of the posture and come into a child's pose with the knees apart and the feet together. Really pad up underneath the knees. Maybe you can feel you can take one of the cushions away now and lean a little bit further forwards onto, so you lean a little bit more down onto the floor. Slide those hips a little bit further apart, see how it feels. Let's hold it here for another 10 breaths. So let the body be really heavy and relaxed onto your bolster, your cushion, if that's in front of you. Working deeply into those exhales. I realise I'm covering up my mic, so I'm going to just lift my body off just in case you can't hear me. I'll be muffling my voice by leaning onto my cushion. Let's hold it here, another 3 breaths. Then very slowly leaning forwards, forwards, and then drawing the legs back together. Bring yourself back. And then getting yourself onto your bottoms. We're going to straddle the legs now. Now from here, you can pop a block underneath the bottom. Your choice. You might feel easier for this straddle leg position. This is called Upavista Konasana. So take your block, have a go, see how it feels. You can keep those cushions for landing onto. So flexing the feet, nice strong active legs. So the legs aren't completely relaxed, they're actually engaged. And then let's reach up with the arms and then start to tilt from the hip creases, reaching your arms forwards. So reach towards me without touching down onto the floor just yet. So really work into that space, into the hips. Reach, reach, reach forwards. A little bit more. And then land the chest down onto your blocks, onto your cushions, whatever you have here. So prop up from the belly upwards. Take the elbows down to the floor, palms facing up. And let the head drop heavy. Now if you need, you take another block or another cushion and have that landing for your head. So you want your upper body to relax completely as we work into the legs. Nice, steady, even breaths. And focus on really emptying the lungs on the exhale and letting go on the exhale. See how it feels to breathe in for 4 and exhale for 8. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 8. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 8. Really feel the full emptiness of the lungs. And if you want to take some of your props away, just maybe taking your hands to reach towards your feet. Working with that deep breath in and that slow, deep breath release out. Let's take another 3 deep breaths here. Make the exhale long. One more. Slowly pushing into the hands, bring your body up. Using your hands behind the backs of the legs, bend the legs, bring the heels in. As we come into Baddha Konasana. So bringing the feet together. This is the last posture before we relax. Not that we haven't been relaxing. So bring your heels as close to the groin as you can. You can remain on your block. So tilting forwards from the hip creases. Open your feet like a book. So the soles of the feet like the pages of a book. So you can hold onto the feet. Send your elbows into your inner thighs if that feels good. Open up the hips. Alternatively, taking the elbows down to the floor, palms facing up. But keep sending the knees down towards the floor. Let the head go. If you need to, take a cushion for the head or a block, whatever you have. I'm going to hold this here for 10 deep breaths. Taking out the tension in the neck and shoulders, so don't hold any tension there. Really let gravity work in your favor here to just let the head hang heavy. Keep tilting that body forwards and forwards with every exhale. 5 more breaths. 2 long exhales. And slowly bring yourself back. Using your hands to ease the legs back together. So our final relaxation. Take yourselves against the wall. So slide yourself, your cushions, your blocks, your mats, so that you can bring your bottom against the wall or against your sofa and take the legs up the wall. So if you want to take a cushion underneath the head, you can have a cushion under the head. Maybe taking a block between the shoulder blades just to open up through the chest. So to get yourself into position, so sit alongside the wall and then wiggling yourself against the wall so you can get your bottom against the wall. So we can get the full support of the wall. So you want the bottom to be right up against the wall. Takes a little bit of wiggling around. Using that block between the shoulder blades, that feels really good, but only use it if it feels good. If you need to, take a bolster underneath the knees. So work into that position that you feel comfortable. If the legs against the wall isn't working for you, then take yourself into corpse pose, Shavasana. If the block between the shoulder blades isn't working, then take that out. But find that comfortable place where you can close your eyes and feel yourself relaxing. You need to be comfortable, so make yourself comfortable. Maybe taking your left hand to your heart center again and your right hand to your belly. Feeling the rise and fall of the chest and the stomach, the belly, as you breathe in deeply. Exhaling, softening and releasing. Just checking in with the body, see how it feels. Consciously relaxing the muscles of the face. Feeling the skin of the face soften, decreasing, unwrinkling, relaxing. So feeling the face and the whole face feeling wide. Maybe a little smile in the corner of the lips. Letting the eyes rest heavy in their sockets. Unclenching the jaw, so separating the deep. Feeling the fullness of the tongue rest heavy. Relaxing the scalp, the neck, and shoulders. Soft and relax. Relaxing the arms, the upper back, the lower back, chest, abdomen, hips and buttocks, thighs, arms, ankles. Just letting all the muscles soften and relax. Just noticing the flow of the breath in and out. Very gently letting the breath come and go without forcing. Just observe it. Observe the sensations in the body without judgment, without criticism. It's breathing in and out. Nothing to do. Nowhere to be. Enjoying your reset. Opportunity of pausing. Just remaining here for another moment or two. Just going to read something on my journey to the heart. June the 28th, feel your feelings. You don't have to do anything about your feelings. Understand that. Believe that. They are only feelings. Emotional energy is important. It's important not to block it, to stop it, deny it, or repress it. It's important to discharge it, to value it, and to value ourselves. You don't have to act on every feeling. You don't have to control every emotion, or let your emotions control you. Doing something in the old way or the way of control, maybe not what's needed right now. Maybe just simply feel whatever you need to feel. Become fully and completely conscious of what you feel. Just noticing and taking responsibility in the way that you choose to express your feelings. So just take a pause and feel those feelings and then let them go. Release the emotional energy that you need to release. And then you will know what to do next. So take that pause before you act. And know what lessons are coming your way. So all you have to do is to feel your feelings. So just observe the sounds that you're hearing now. Hearing the vibration, the sound of my singing bowl, sound and energy, vibration. Feel it and notice it. Slowly beginning to make some movements with the fingers and toes, maybe wiggling the fingers and wiggling the toes. Very gently and slowly coming out of your position, whichever one you have chosen for your relaxation. So easing your legs down off the wall if that's where they were at. Or bringing the legs together if you were in Shavasana. So just rolling over onto your right side first. Carefully minding your props and your blocks and things that you've had to prop you up if you've been using them. Keep the eyes closed or the gaze low. And just slowly coming up very gently to a cross-legged seated position. So placing yourselves on a cushion or a block if that feels right for you and your body in this moment. But in whichever way you choose to sit, keep your spine nice and straight and tall. Shoulders over the hips, crown of the head over the pelvis. And then drawing your hands together actively, consciously, with awareness. So palms together, thumbs touching, fingertips touching. Feel the energy in the palms of your hands. Taking your hands to your heart center. Just being aware of your feelings, your emotions. Noticing, observing, and feeling those emotions. And if needs be, letting those emotions go in a gentle way, kind way, kind to yourself and kind to others. Just taking a few more deep breaths in and out here. Let's close our practice with a single Om. So taking a deep breath in. Honoring yourself, honoring your feelings and emotions. Now bowing your head down towards your heart center, giving yourself love, compassion, kindness. The light in me honors the light in me. Peace, peace, peace. And Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Have a wonderful, wonderful, restful Sunday. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy this reset moment. Remember, it's always your practice, it's your time. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much. Bye.